Okay, what's next, guys? I want to show you this. So first of all, can we just talk about this case? Isn't that fun? So this is Olivia Garden's new case, and they have the precision cut shears. So the precision cut shears is a new texturizing shear that they just came out with, which I am in love with. It doesn't show any lines in the hair, so when you're using that, it's really helpful when you're trying to go into finer hair or finer spaces. One of the things I want to talk about with texturizing shears, I think that's important to know, is that there are several ways of removing weight, but there are also ways of adding volume to hair by using texturizing shears. So I think one of the most common misconceptions is that texturizing shears are just to take out bulk, which is not always the case. So for instance, I'm going to show you a way that I like to remove bulk, but I'm also going to add shape. So I want to add some shape around her face. I'm going to bring the camera closer so you guys can see what I'm doing. Hopefully that's okay. I'm going to lift her up a little bit. Is that good? Maybe? Let me lower this down a little bit. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this. There we go. How's that? Good? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the comb on top of the head, and right where that comb takes off, right here, I'm going to take this whole front panel and I'm going to bring it toward her face. So I'm going to go straight forward like this. I'm going to take my texturizing shears. I'm going to start in the middle of her hair. So I'm going to start in the mid and I'm just going to walk it out. So I'm opening and closing all the way just through here. Now I'm going to take that section one more time and I'm going to over direct it and I'm going to take that corner out. So see how I took weight off, but what's nice about that is on finer hair texture, it gives her kind of that illusion of a curtain bang without actually physically cutting that in. So it took the weight out through here, it created a shape through here, and when she pulls her hair back, if she wants to have these pieces falling out around her face, now she can do that. And it's soft, right? So we don't have any blunt lines through here, and that's really important on fine hair texture. So let's go ahead and do the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn her toward you. Again, I'm going to just turn her head. I'm going to grab that section. I'm going to grab the hair, and I'm going to wrap around the side of her. So I'm over directing. I'm doing the same thing as before. Obviously, if I was doing it in the salon and I wasn't doing it for you guys, I would actually come to this side of her. So that's the other way, is I would just take this. The comb goes on top. I'm over directing it. And I'm just releasing. So you can actually go more toward the center. I'm going to take it from the center through here, open and close, all the way out. Again, I'm going to curve this around the face again, take out the corner to give it that swing. So that's one technique that you can do in order to get like a little bit more of that lightweight kind of almost curtain bang area. And technically, I'm not cutting curtain bangs on her, but I want to give the illusion that she's got like this shaping around her face without cutting into that, because I don't want it to be too short on her. And remember, I was mentioning that her hair's super straight. So if I cut a blunt line in super straight hair, you will never unsee it. You know what I mean? Like you have to like go in and soften it after that. So I want to show you another technique. This whole area through here gets really heavy and dense, and that's what causes this to get super flat. So I could put volumizer in there, you know, over and over. I could put a whole can of volumizer through the root and I'll never get that lift. So remember how I was mentioning to you before that you can actually get lift when you're using your texturizing shears? So I'm going to show you guys how I like to do this. I'm going to do a vertical section right along the round of the head. So where the head, when your comb gets flat through here, I stop. So I'm just doing this portion of the hair here. I'm going to draw everything straight up in the air. I'm going to grab my texturizing shears, and I'm actually going to go a couple inches off the part. So let me just get a little bit closer, you guys, so you can see better. Is that better? Okay, so I'm going to lift this straight up in the air through here. I'm using my fingers as a cushion underneath. So I'm a couple inches off of the scalp, and I'm lifting it straight up, and I'm not closing it down all the way. I'm closing it partially. So watch me. Partially close, partially close, partially close, all the way out. And so that took out weight through the middle. So watch it drop out. This is the hair I took out. So what that does is those shorter hairs push the longer hairs, and it allows her to get that lift through the top without me having to put stacked layers in the middle. So it gives it that lightweight. You guys ever hear that joke of like, I want invisible layers, I want invisible layers? Well, this is kind of that illusion. It's invisible layers without cutting the layers into the hair. So I'm a big proponent of when you're cutting, it's not what you're taking off, it's what you're leaving behind. So I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. I'm actually going to go all the way around the head. So let me actually, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to finish this through here, through the rest of her hair. Lift up, straight in the air. Do not close your shears. Follow through with your fingers and drop. The top of the head. Vertical section. Place your fingers in. Do not close your shears all the way. And this just cuts like butter. You just want to get it through the center of that hair, so that way she gets that lift that she's needing for here. Do you see how it's just like lighter and airier looking? Like when the hair moves, you can actually see it move. Whereas on this side, let me turn her this, oh. You guys, the struggle with this camera thing is real, like not having someone holding the camera. So I really appreciate you hanging out with me. And whereas on this side, when I move it around, it doesn't have that same lightness, right? Like this is a lot denser through here. Okay, so I'm gonna finish. Let's turn this back around. There we go. Nope. Okay. So I'm gonna go through the top. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Thanks for the encouragement. After I do this technique, I'm gonna show you one more technique before I hop off. And I definitely wanna make sure that I answer your questions if you have any. So feel free to ask away and I will revisit if I didn't catch it. If you have certain scenarios, let's say, where you use texturizing shears, or maybe you're scared to use texturizing shears and you want to ask me, like, what do you do in this scenario? Like, I am an open book. If you have any things that you want me to address, feel free to ask. Remember, just as I was saying before, when you're giving that lift and you're really looking for max volume through the hair, you want to make sure that you are not closing those shears all the way. So I'm just kind of walking the shears out, straight up in the air. I kind of have like a paper clip hold on them. And I'm dropping my shears in and I'm just walking them out, just like that. There we go. Look at that. I'll zoom out in just a little bit, you guys, so you can actually see everything. I just wanted to get closer so you could actually see what was happening here. I would actually like to hear too, like if any of you guys, do you prefer to use texturizing shears? Are you not so much of a fan? Why do you love them or not love them? Like, let me know as well, since I love to hear feedback from you, because I'm one of those people that I like to problem solve. And I've learned throughout all these years of doing hair, I've been doing hair for 22 years, I've learned that it's not a one size fits all, right? But at the same time, it's never the tool, it's the operator. So sometimes our trust can be lost with certain materials because we either overuse them, we weren't educated, maybe somebody thinned our hair. Like, I mean, I started in the 90s, and so we went to town with the thinning shears. It was almost like your hair got cut by thinning shears and not by regular shears. So I have the hair texture that gets really frizzy. And if somebody does too much of it, then it disrupts my cuticle. And then I just had like frayed fuzzball hair. So it was not a good look, guys. Not even then. I like to use it if I need a new one, and I need a new one. And yes, I love them, but I don't use them enough. After this, I'm going to use them more. Good, Julie. I love that. I love hearing that. Okay, so I'm going to show you another technique. Are you guys ready? Okay, so I'm actually going to I'm doing the same thing that I did on her bangs earlier, her framework. And I'm just going from here to here. So just this very shallow area. I'm going to pick this hair up and I'm going to actually move this out of the way. So I'm going to move the whole crown out of the way. Where did I put? Here it is. There we go. And I'm going to use my double prong clip. So I'm going to use the bottom part of the clip and open that up, move that out of the way. And I'm just going to take like a horseshoe section basically. So I'm going to take a horseshoe section right through that bulky part of the hair. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to open up the top part of the prong right here. You guys with me so far? And then I'm actually going to do that one more time. So I'm going to scoop another U shape. So I'm going to take a scooped U shape through here. This time what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go inside. It's called lacing. Has anyone heard of the term lacing before? It's a form of backcombing. So I'm actually going to backcomb the hair using my thinning shears. And my motion is open, close, just like that. So you're kind of doing like a C in, a C out. So you're kind of doing a seesaw like this, right? I'm going to take this whole U-shaped section straight up. And I'm going to do my lacing now. So I'm going to open and close and release. Open, close, release, open, close, release, just like that. So what that does is it gives her lots of lift through here. It takes out the weight through here. Now I'm going to drop my second section. So remember, I already did a U section through here. I'm going to open up my first prong of my clip. I'm going to grab that section and I'm going to go into my lacing technique. I'm going to pull everything straight up. I'm going to start a few inches off the hair. Open and close, open, close, open, close. So this is a really fun technique. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun doing it. And then I'm going to open up her last section. And actually, this is the section I'm preserving, so I'm going to drop this down over the top. Remember, I already addressed this earlier when I went in off a couple inches off the top, and I just did that light feathering. So we're done with that portion of it. So in closing, I'm going to show you guys one last time for those of you that missed it. In closing, I'm going to show you the vent brush that I used. I'm going to pull all the extra weight out of her hair. You're going to just love Mexico, Katie. Yeah. Mexico is going to love you too. Your beautiful hair, all beachy. Okay, so in closing, I used the new thermal vent brush. I used the larger size. It has a pick on the end if you don't have a nail that you can use to section with. It has the vent combo, so this is for easy airflow. It has the boar bristle on the bottom. That helps with shine, tension, taking out frizz. And it has the open barrel that allows lots of airflow, so that cuts down on your blow drying time, and it makes it easier to maneuver, much, much lighter weight than the regular brushes. Then I dropped down to the medium size. The medium size I used for tension, for shape, and for turn, and to control the middle of the hair just to give it that nice soft shape through the mid. And then I moved into the Perfect Blend shears. All of these you can find at Salon Centric. And these shears in particular, guys, the Perfect Blend, they have their forever policy. So is anyone familiar with their, I might be calling it the wrong name, the forever policy. I call it their forever policy. But basically what happens is they have an exchange that they do at Salon Centric. So if you buy these Perfect Blend shears, if you go to Salon Centric when they start to become dull, because this inner blade in time, they will wear down, right? And so what they do is they exchange it for a brand new pair for, I think it's $49.99, I want to say, because I looked it up this morning just to make sure I didn't misquote you guys. But that's amazing, because then you don't have to worry about handing this over to a shear sharpener. And sometimes a shear sharpener can really wear down that blade. So just so you guys know that that's always an option available at Salon Centric with the Olivia Garden shears, and particularly these brand new Perfect Blend scissors. So do you guys have any questions for me before I hop off? I love that everyone was able to come hang out with me. Thank you so much for asking questions and just getting involved. I know that we were talking a little bit about knocking frizz out. So sometimes it's just simply the tool that we're using. So let's just make it easier for ourselves. And in closing also, I want to remind you that when you're blow drying, if you find that your elbows are above your shoulders, adjust your body so that your elbows are tucked into your body. So that way you're preserving those shoulders and you're not hurting yourself. The clips are also at Salon Centric, and these are also by the double prong clips. Is that what you're talking about? I imagine that was the only clips I used. So yeah, the double prong clips, these are also at Salon Centric, and these are by Olivia Garden. They come in a couple different colors, but I prefer black. Do you have to purchase them from Salon Centric in order to get the warranty? Cindy, you don't have to purchase them at Salon Centric for the warranty, but you do, that's who does the exchange program. So just to be clear, like if you want to exchange and get a brand new pair, you would want to go to Salon Centric for that. So that's the best way to get it. And yes, you can watch this all over again if you guys missed anything. I really do appreciate you hanging out with me, and I really love hearing your guys' insight. If you guys have any more questions, I will hop on later. Feel free to ask away. And you can type it in later, and I will get back on here and I'll answer you guys. But in the meantime, it was just great hanging out, and thank you so much for your time. And I know I love the clips too, yeah. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.